Okay, back for another part 2 of the pivot chat. Here's what happened, because I just did what felt right and gave myself permission to pivot. So, like, the whole reason I wanted to pivot to begin with was because it was like a hot day in Kentucky, and I had already taken my dogs on like a 20-minute whatever thing. I was like, I've already gotten a little bit of exercise. I don't need to do all of that. I'll just do a little something. And turns out I ended up, I've gone a lot farther than I would have gone to begin with. And not that even, matters. It's not like I have to hit these certain exercise goals, which I used to be like that, and I am still like that, and if you're like that, that's fine too. But again, just giving myself permission to just do what feels right, whenever that is, however that is, whatever that looks like. And not only that, I changed my route. So not only did I end up going farther, but I changed my route. And if I hadn't have done that, I would have missed these really nice experiences I've had. I had no idea. I'd driven by this house 100 times. Well over 100 times. It's one of the normal routes to and from my house. And I saw this little house, and they have this flower bed towards the end of their driveway. And it says, free flowers, cut and take. And they have these scissors next to the flowers, and you just cut them and take them home with you. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so beautiful. I love that. Also, so there's this one house that planted, I don't know, there's 4 or 5 magnolia trees planted. It looks like maybe they're doing that for privacy, or they just want to line their yard. I don't know what the reasoning is, but they have a few in a row. And all of them were doing really, really well. But there was this one on the end, and I'm like, that guy's a goner. He's dead. And I walked past it today, and it actually looks better than all the one that I thought was dead looks better than all the others. And I'm just like, you know what? You can always use that little reminder. You just never know the growth that's taking place in someone or in a situation. And just to always be open-minded, and you just never know how things are going to turn out. So that was kind of cool. Would not have happened if I did not decide to pivot. Then another thing happened. So there's this one house in the neighborhood next to mine, in in the area or whatever. And I've just always, I don't know, I always think of stories, and I just wonder about people's stories and stuff. And I was like, I wonder who lives there. They have it looks like they built something excessive, like an accessibility ramp or something. So I've always just wondered, if someone that lives there now is handicapped, or if they just wanted to do that for visitors, or I don't know. Never seen anyone outside of that house ever. And I got to meet the sweetest, I was walking by, and the sweetest older lady was out there, and she was so happy. And we exchanged, a few words, hi, how are you? Isn't it so beautiful? And she goes, this is literally the perfect weather. And I was like, here I am. I set out to pivot to begin with because it's a hot, humid day. And she's out there, and she thinks this is the perfect weather. And it just all goes to perception. And It is the perfect day. Like, why am I making this a thing? And I just came back, like, after I passed her, and I'm just like, just love. Like, I brought myself back to the moment. Like, that's what that experience allowed me to do, is like, it brought me back to the. You're fine. That was fun. That definitely brought me back to the moment too. But all these like experiences on my route today, it just kept bringing me back to the here and now, and that's what I found. You know, when I talk about the 4 keys to healing, which is really just freedom, like that's what healing is, and everything, and I have like these principles and the transcending approach and whatnot, and all of that, all of it, everything I do and teach is in an effort to come back to the here and now. That's where freedom lies. That's where love is. And when I'm in the moment, all there is love. And that's the solution. You know, fear is the problem. Like, when I'm drifting off, when I'm not in the here and now, it's because I'm living in the past and projecting into the future, and all of that's based in fear. I can just bring myself back to this moment and love. That's where freedom is. That's where peace is. So, anyway, I guess that's enough rambling.